Another week and more bad news. Make it to stop, dude. It's so bad up here. It's so bad up here. I guess maybe some of these bad news are actually good, perhaps. Let me change the music here. Let's go back to Time Ruins. I really like that song. What did you say? It's really fun. Really cool. I really like it. And, oh man, what is happening nowadays with everything? Is this the dark magic of the election year? Not a big fan, not gonna lie. Let me bring up some stuff already. Where's my... There you go. I should rename this at some point. So, Conquer released. Pretty good game, right? If only. If only that was the case. Oh, the cropping is worse than usual, it's fine. Conquer is suddenly getting pulled offline, with Sony promising full refunds. The only surprising thing here are the full refunds in my opinion. Apparently this game lasted like 11 days, which is not a lot. What is this? A modern relationship? It's not looking good. It's not looking good. It launched to minuscule player numbers. That is true. That is true. Let's see. This is from earlier this week. And they went offline yesterday, I think. So yeah, some people were a little bit upset because they were granting the achievements, which I can understand. But apparently the gameplay loop was running just full speed to throw yourself outside of the stage to perish. Because that was apparently the best way to get experience in the game. Not a good idea, but it's not the first one, nor the worst, so... At this point, who cares, honestly? PlayStation Hero Shooter Concord will be taking offline on September 6th, that was yesterday, 2024, still yesterday. And all players will receive a full refund, Sony announced today. Announced on the PlayStation blog, director Ryan Ellis said, while many qualities of the experience resonated with players... Are we sure about that? I don't think we know, honestly. We also recognize that other aspects of the game and our initial launch didn't land the way we'd intended. Yeah, I guess we all can agree with that. It's sad, but true. It was like 670 peak concurrent players on Steam. Not a whole lot. Okay, not a whole lot. I'm seeing meme-worthy games having better picks, like that one with the Austrian painter, you know? Yes, the game. I don't think I will. Google will therefore be taking offline, so Sony and developer Firework Studios can explore options, including those that will better reach our players. I expect some sort of free release of this game. Probably free to play, but with a bunch of microtransactions. That's how things work nowadays. The game will be removed from sale immediately, and anyone who purchased on the PlayStation Store or PlayStation Direct will be refunded to their original payment methods. Those who purchased on Steam and the Epic Games Store will be refunded in the coming days. Okay. But what happens if you have a physical copy? That's a little bit weird. You can probably get refunds. I guess, I don't really know. They mention it here. Physical refunds are that trickier, but players can check with individual retailers to obtain a refund. I guess that makes sense. 11 days, that's still within reason, right? Sony will presumably organize a system with them itself, and that allows all refunds to be processed fully. Once refunded, players will no longer have access to the game. Sony made it clear. Yeah, that makes sense. Also, the game is dead, so you don't really have access to the game anyway. I don't know if they have any kind of offline mode for practice. Probably not. Concord pulled less than 2 weeks after launch. Concord arrived August 23rd, 2024. Meaning has been removed from sale just 11 days after launch and taken offline for all players, a mere 2 weeks after. Vendors about the Concord will no longer be able to play after September 6th. Yeah. That's interesting. That's not the end, but we're close. Its launch was nothing short of disastrous. Fair. With analysts telling IGN it has likely sold as few as 25,000 units. It debuted to a tragic 697 peak concurrent players on Steam. I thought it was like 20 lower. I misplaced the 7, I guess. A number that made the 12,786 players of Suicide Squad Kill Justice League, which was dubbed a disappointment, my bad. I know how to read good, okay? By Warner Bros. Discovery bust, David Zaslav, and cost a 200 million USD hit to revenue. Looked like a titan. Yeah. But once again, they keep investing huge amounts of money on games that are not gonna make it. And to be fair, I do believe that Kill the Justice League had better chances than Concord, because at least it is a established IP. People understand, people know Suicide Squad. Even if the movies were not the best, they have movies. What even is Concord, right? It was just a huge risk. I'm surprised they took it, honestly. This comes after 8 years of development, and presumably tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars spent by Sony. I don't think it's clear the amount of money that you spent. Some people have said more than 100, some people have said more than 200. I think the range I've been seeing the most that seems likely was 130 million USD, which is too much. It is too much for a new IP, if you know what you're doing. But they don't know what they're doing, clearly. The company already said to be shifting gears away from a live service heavy future. Sony President Hiroki Totoki committed to launching just 6 of 12 live service games in development, and one based on The Last of Us has already been cancelled. That is probably for the best. That's probably for the best. The Last of Us, they released many games, but at the end of the day it's just 2. They have released 2 games many times. Is this Skyrim now? Do they took a page from Todd Howard's book? That's funny. That's so funny. But yeah, The Last of Us and live service seems like a really bad idea to me. So that was probably for the best. And now you have Sony being like, well, honestly, we don't know what we should do because apparently we don't have enough IPs. And I've seen so many tweets. Where like, okay, Sony, what the hell do you mean by that? You have a huge amount of IPs that you refuse to use. Like, Pot Up the Rubber, okay? Just to give an example of something I just remembered. Or Medieval. That could be cool. Or Jak and Daxter. Is Jak and Daxter or Ratchet and Clank? I always mix them up. But they do own one of those. People like that game. I don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know. Are they allergic to money nowadays? Well, they do have headquarters on California, so that it's believable to me. Let's take a look at some comments. 1.8k comments. It's IGN, I think that makes sense. Let's say this guy. It was the right thing to do. It was going to be literally unplayable on weekdays, and maybe in a month unplayable anytime. That's fair. Last weekend, they had like 40 to 50 players. That's not enough. That's not enough. Not for this kind of game. Free to play, and maybe a massive change to the default looks of the main roster. Yeah. Yeah. I know that creatives don't like to admit defeat and stuff like that, but as long as the main roster looks the way they do, it will always be an uphill battle. Yeah, that's fair. I've seen also some tweets. I think they come from a Reddit post. I don't know if it's real or not, but apparently the main... I'm gonna say the main character, because it's the one we all have seen, which is the... I think it's a black woman, which is fat and uses like a Gatling gun and wears a heavy suit of green armor. And they were like, yeah, 6 years ago, this is how this character looked. And she looked actually really cool. It was still black woman, she wasn't fat, still green armor, and still Gatling gun. But the armor looked way better, in my opinion. I don't have that on tap, so just trust me, bro, I guess. It looked kind of futuristic. It was interesting, more than whatever that was, at least. And also those allegations about the professor or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. When you have a single guy controlling everything, that might be bad, okay? That might be bad. Hot take, I know. They're going to have to hire a new lead designer if they want to save anything. This is such a horrendous blunder. Developers need to listen to the consumer for crying out loud. Yes, it's pretty much that. I read a lot that people have issues with looks. What specifics would you want different? Isn't this an IGN icon? Kyle, are you a shield? I just don't believe you. I thought they would at least try to make it free to play, but a full shutdown? Jesus Christ, yes. So, that is actually a good point. That is actually a good point. They're not going free to play, so maybe they won't actually go free to play in the future. Maybe not for now. I do believe they probably will. That's interesting. And they still need to make a profit after all, but... I think they would have more luck with that, with microtransactions. As much as I hate them. They should have made it free to play out the gate. It might help tremendously, because a lot of reviewers praises the gameplay. But it was very light in content. That's fair. That's fair. Also, which reviewers though? A lot of them are heavily biased. I'm not trying to dunk on the game, it's just... Is it actually fun? If it is, cool I suppose. It's not my kind of game. I've never actually tried them, but I've seen videos and whatnot. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. So yeah, maybe it could be free to play, and they will release characters as cheap DLC, maybe. Similar to Smash Bros. Did in the past. Once again, it's not a system that I like. It would probably work better than whatever this was. Kind of sad. Kind of sad. But speaking of wasting money, I thought this was really interesting. A bunch of stuff that I have today, I haven't pre-read, so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. We go back to Dustborn. A Norwegian Film Institute says market potential was a major factor in the decision to fund Dustborn with taxpayer money, and I cannot believe it. I just cannot believe it. That doesn't seem real to me. The animation that absolutely warrants a full review of their own standards. the Norwegian Film Institute has confirmed that their personal perception of the game's market potential played a major role in their decision to fund Dustborn's development with taxpayer money. And you can clown on the game all you want. Yes, I do believe this game is ass, I do believe this game is bad, and I do believe this game deserves to crash and burn. But it exists, and it probably deserves to exist. The thing that should make you the most mad is funded with taxpayer money. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about approximately $1.7 million. Around that, right? It's just the fast conversion between USD, euros, and Norwegian crowns. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a propaganda piece. If they made it themselves, with their own funding, honestly, who cares? It crashed and burned? Well, that happens. But that is messed up. Disclaimer. This article cites information provided by the YouTube news outlet Midnight's Edge. This article's author has a personal and working relationship with the channel's co-host, Tom Connors, and is friendly with its founder, Andre Harjar. Okay, that's a fair disclaimer. Established in 2008 as a film archival organization, that's cool by me, under the supervision of the Royal Norwegian Ministry of Culture, the NFI has since expanded its operations to provide a variety of support, such as funding, distribution, and general development to products originating from the Scandinavian country. And we have here the first red flag. To be eligible for funding assistance in particular, a given project must meet at least 3, remember that, at least 3, of the following 4 criteria, so you can only leave one out. The work has originally been written in the Norwegian or Sami language, as spoken by the country's indigenous Sami peoples. I don't know who the Sami are. I don't think the original was written in Norwegian. That's just my take. The main theme is connected to Norwegian history, culture, or social conditions. That doesn't seem to be the case. It's just a bunch of diverse people in the divided states of America. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense that you can draw connections to Norwegian history. The action takes place in Norway, in another EEA country, countries of the European Union, EU, plus Iceland and Liechtenstein. That's the most false. It's the DSA, I guess, Divided States of America, just parallel world USA. The work contains significant contributions from rights holders or artists resident in Norway or in another EEA country. This is possible, I don't know, this seems to be the most possible of all 4. But that is still 1 of 4. It's not at least 3. So this is a problem already. This is a massive problem, by their own standards. Is this battle from Ghost in the Shell? It's the same kind of eye, right? Looks weird when you only have one. In addition to various documentaries and feature films, one such project to receive financial assistance from the NFI in recent years was none other than Red Thread Games' aforementioned Dustborn, which per the government's body own website was reportedly granted a total of 40 million Norwegian crowns, approximately 1.3 million USD, across 3 years and 4 separate rounds of funding. And to that you have to add 150,000 euros from the European Union and 275,000 USD from the American government. That's where I got my 1.7 million number before. Excuse me. Given this information, readers who have managed to catch even the brightest glimpse of the game, from its use of cancellation and bullying as actual combat mechanics to its Tumblr level dialogue, may be asking themselves, how? How did the game Disembarrassing manage to secure so much in government funding. Do I need to bring out my tinfoil hat? Because I will. I will if it's necessary. We're gonna be tinfoiling a little bit today. You have been warned. It turns out that, at least in part, the answer lies in the fact that the NFI apparently believed Dashborn had the chance to be major seller. Okay. It's Norway. I've seen how the Scandinavian countries have fallen in recent years. But they will... I believe that they do believe this. But they will need to explain to me why they thought that. Because it doesn't make any sense to me. Not gonna lie. To me, it doesn't make any sense. To be fair, across 3 years, were things so different 3 years ago? You know what? Maybe. Actually, maybe. But not in a good way. This insight into the NFI's decision-making process was first brought to light courtesy of Midnight's Edge founder and editor-in-chief Andre A. Harder. You cannot get more Scandinavian than this, okay? A Norwegian citizen with some experience in the country's video game scene, Harder reached out to the NFI's video game head, Keija Hedge Darley? I'm trying with the names here, please understand. In the hopes of finding an answer to the question of how on earth a game like this could have been funded by Norway of all places. I would need to look it up, but apparently Norwegian banks are a little bit scary and they have huge amounts of money. It is surprising for such a tiny country, and I mean tiny because they don't have that many citizens. It's like what, 5 million? Yeah, not a lot of people living up north there, I understand. I need to research that at some point, maybe. Per email messages sent between the two and later shared in a YouTube video upload to the official Midnight's Edge channel, A. Harder opened their conversation by asking for information regarding the funding process in general, and more specifically, what made Dashborn receive funding, as the game cannot be said to be about either Norwegian society or culture. That's what I'm saying. Applications for development grants are assessed by the Film Institute's Game Advisor, as well as an external panel consisting of experienced Nordic game developers, replied Darley. I guess that makes sense. But still, it's not Norwegian though. The panel assesses the artistic qualities, the developer's ability to complete production, as well as the market potential. All games that pass the culture test will be considered. Dashborn passes this test and therefore qualifies. Okay, hold up. They said a lot of things here. Artistic qualities. We can put a pin on that one because it's extremely subjective. What is and what is not art? I don't think this is art. You know what? Maybe it is actually art, but in a different way. I do believe it's a beautiful disaster. A beautiful disaster has to be art. It's a man-made disaster, so that makes sense. Developers ability to complete production. That's fair, they did indeed make the game. As well as the market potential. Citation, please? And culture test, do they refer to these 3 points, or is this something different? I don't know. I'm not quite sure by this wording here. But apparently Dashborn passed the test, so... Do you have to include the message in the game? I'm gonna go with that schizo theory for now. It's probably not that, but still. Still curious as to why Dashborn received funding over other such applicants, Harder further inquired. More generally, is the commercial appeal of the game part of the consideration? To which Darley confirmed, yes, market potential is one of the assessment criteria for the panel. That makes sense, okay? that makes sense as a criteria, but I don't think they're looking at the market as most people are nowadays, so who knows, honestly. That means the game is assessed to have the potential to reach its defined target market. Do they mean the modern audience? Is that... Are you telling me that's a thing? I don't believe it. She added. That game was released by a recognized publisher, Quantic Dream, which has also made significant investments into the project. Well, it's their own project, so... Sure. It has been done on the basis of the game's market potential. Citation? Once again, I'm gonna say that a lot, probably. In reflection of these answers, Einhardt closed out his video by providing his own analysis of the situation. To be clear, there's a lot of talent in Norway, but there's a shortage of investors willing to invest in something as unconventional as gaming. Is it? I mean, that could be the case. If they're actually smart investors, they would actually invest in games. In some of them, at least. I mean, we've seen some bangers from Europe, believe it or not counting Ubisoft, they don't count the French. But Baldur's Gate 3 is European, I'm pretty sure. The Witcher games are European, I'm pretty sure. They're good games, they made money. Why not invest in that? That makes sense to me. I'm not an investor, maybe that's why. That's the big difference between Norway in one end and neighboring Sweden and Denmark in the other. That's interesting. Swedish and Danish investors like to add some spice and cool stuff to the portfolio, which gives Swedish and Danish gaming startups the seed capital they need to make their first big game. Plus, they have an investor behind them that will push for commercial success. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, yeah, I suppose. That makes sense. Investing in potentially cool stuff. And I don't mean potentially, because I don't think that's cool, but... Once again, it's subjective, it's fine. Because if the game is a hit, that will not just pay off for the investor, but fund the company's next game. Potentially. And then, if that's successful, it will fund another 2 games, and so on and so forth. Is this once again the myth of infinite growth? They're not entirely wrong, but I think they're highballing it a little bit. My opinion, at least. Which is how a gaming startup ends up as a commercially successful, viable game developer. And that's why you have a functional gaming industry and franchises like Minecraft, Battlefield, Candy Crush Saga, Hitman, and many others coming out of Sweden and Denmark. Okay, hold up. Hold up. Sure, but at the same time, you cannot just say, obviously Minecraft, come on, obviously Minecraft. Yes, not just Swedish. He's Swedish, right? To be fair, Minecraft is weird. And that's all I'm gonna say. Minecraft is just a weird case. It's extremely successful. I don't think it's the best example of this business practice. It could be. Sure, why not? But it got bought by Microsoft, and I don't think that was good for the game. That's a different thing altogether. Sure. To be fair, I didn't know that Battlefield or Hitman were Scandinavian. That's cool. Also, Candy Crush Saga. It's fine, they're just examples. Alas, Norwegian investors like to restrict their portfolio to IT, deep-sea engineering, and pharmaceuticals. Is this America now? I just think it's funny. Which means outside of the established majors like Funcom... It has to be fun, it's in the name, right? Norwegian would-be developers and startups are sheer luck, he continued. They are dependent on the Norwegian Film Institute for funding, which means they have to compete with everyone else for the limited grants available, which in and of itself wouldn't have been a bad thing if the Film Institute had helped push the games with the biggest commercial potential and set up the companies behind them for success and future financial independence. But that's not what is happening. Well, to be fair, you can clown however you want on the Norwegian Film Institute, but at the same time, originally, just back in 2008, it was for film archival, so yeah, that makes sense. They are trying to be a little bit conservative with that. They probably don't know what they're doing. So the government wanted the thriving Norwegian gaming industry. But if taxpayer money is what's driving it, do they really have one? On both sides, I guess not. In further detail, and it didn't have to be this way. What the government, in my opinion, should have done was give the Film Institute a slightly different mission, namely provide the seed capital needed to keep the receiving company afloat until their first big game is out, when it's time to let them sink or swim. Instead, the Film Institute keeps on funding individual games the panel deems worthy, year in, year out, but without ever setting them up for independent success. Look, at the end of the day, they're just not going to give you free money. What happens if you fail? You're not going to like that one. So I guess I understand it a little bit at least. There's a reason why a number of Norwegian developers are after dark, and as a pointer to at a developer meetup, we'll refer to the Film Institute as welfare for game developers. I suppose, but they went on a huge tangent here, I feel. Could you tell us a little bit more about the market potential of Dustborn? I think that's the most important part of this, but I guess we'll never know now. As a getting Norwegian, your current trap investing in stuff like this disgusts me. The Northman checks out, I suppose. The game is assessed to have the potential to reach its defined target market. And it did? It reached every last person in the defined target market. What's the problem? If the target market is minuscule and it attracts literally, in all sense of the word, nobody else. Yes. That's the point. Andrew and Saga was a fun project with a budget of $0, with a Norwegian lead dev. Far better. Maybe they're right. Maybe they actually reached their full potential, but their full potential was a little bit disappointing. Happens to the best of us, I'm afraid. It happens, okay? It happens. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of today, though. It was just strange news. The Internet Archive loses its appeal of a major copyright case. I don't like it. I don't like it when they mess with archiving. I think archiving is really important. Hatchet vs. Internet Archive was brought by the book publishers objecting to the archive's digital lending library. And just from what I've heard about this, it has a really easy fix. Let's see if that happens though. The Internet Archive has lost a major legal battle, in a decision that could have significant impact on the future of Internet history. Today, the US Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit ruled against the long-running Digital Archive, upholding an earlier ruling in Hatchet vs. Internet Archive that found that one of the Internet Archive's book digitization projects violated copyright law. Copyright law. The vein of my existence, I guess. It's funny. In a really bad way, but I guess it's funny. Notably, the appeals court's ruling rejects the Internet Archive's argument that its lending practices were shielded by the Fair Use Doctrine, which permits for copyright infringement in certain circumstances, calling it unpersuasive. We're gonna have a lot of legalities here, so please bear with me a little bit. In March 2020, the Internet Archive, a San Francisco-based non-profit, launched a program called the National Emergency Library, or NEL. Library closures caused by the pandemic, oh, it's always the goof, All of the students, researchers, and readers able to access millions of books, and the Internet Archive has said it was responding to calls from regular people and other librarians to help those at home get access to the books that they needed, which is fair. Need to take a sip of my drink. The NEL was an offshoot of an ongoing digital lending project called the Open Library, in which the Internet Archive scans physical copies of library books and lets people check out the digital copies as though they're regular reading material instead of e-books. Oh man, my throat is killing me a little bit. It was the rice. It was the rice that I ate earlier, I guess. The Open Library lent the books to one person at a time, but the NEL removed this ratio rule, instead letting large numbers of people borrow each scanned book at once. Through the goof, that makes sense. Also, it's the internet. It shouldn't be just one each. This is not an NFT. Shouldn't be. The NEL was subject of backlash soon after its launch. Lunch? Am I hungry again? I hope not. With some authors arguing that it was tantamount to piracy. In response, the Internet Archive, within 2 months, scuttled its emergency approach and reinstated the lending caps. But the damage was done. In June 2020, major publishing houses, including Hachette, HarperCollins, Penguin Random House, what a name, and Wiley, filed a lawsuit. They're just jealous. In March 2023, the district court ruled in favor of the publishers. Judge John G. Coltle? I don't know, I'm trying. Weird names today. Found that the Internet Archive had created derivative works, arguing that there was nothing transformative about its copying and lending. After the initial ruling in Hachette vs. Internet Archive, the parties negotiated terms, the details of which have not been disclosed. But the archive is still filing appeal. James Grimbleman, a professor of digital and internet law at Cornell University, says the verdict is not terribly surprising in the context of how courts have recently interpreted fair use. I guess. Also, fair use? It's weird. Fair use is weird. If you know YouTube a little bit, yes, fair use is just strange to me. You could be using stuff that is actually fair use and is actually transformative and still get fucked up because of YouTube. Which is just completely parallel to copyright law, but still tied to it to some extent. So annoying. So annoying. Copyright law. Yeah. They get the rights for way too long. Yeah, it's funny. I don't think they mention it in this article, but when we finish it, I will mention something funny about this situation. Funny sad, okay? It's funny sad, but funny in a morbid way, I suppose. The Internet Archive did eke out a Pyrrhic victory in the appeal. Although the Second Circuit sided with the District Court's initial ruling, it clarified that it did not view the Internet Archive as a commercial entity. It's not, as far as I know. Instead, emphasizing that it was clearly a non-profit operation. Grumman says this is the right call. Fair. I'm glad to see that the Second Circuit takes that mistake. He signed an amicus brief in the appeal arguing that it was wrong to classify the use as commercial. It's not commercial. And it's funny because this could be fixed in a commercial way. I think they mention stuff like libraries having like licenses for their books and whatnot, and they could do the same. But if this is a non-profit, it's gonna be a massive problem at the end of the day. Still, I'm not an expert on how all this works, as you might understand. And may I hold up? There you go. Today's appellate decision upholds the rights of authors and publishers to license and be compensated for their books. In other creative works, Andromeda says, in no uncertain terms, that infringement is both costly and antithetical to the public interest. Antithetical to the public interest. Are we sure about that? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. Association of American Publishers President and CEO Maria A. Palante. Wasn't that the thing that Saruman used to communicate with Sauron? Stating in a statement, if there was any doubt, the court makes clear that under fair use jurisprudence, there's nothing transformative about converting entire works into new formats without permission or appropriating the value of derivative works that are a key part of the author's copyright bundle. On one hand, fair, on the second, we're living in kind of a digital society, so that's unavoidable, I'm afraid. That's kind of scary. That would be a really dangerous precedent. From just my shallow understanding of the situation, I have to admit. In a statement, Internet Archive Director of Library Services, Chris Freeland. I guess sometimes the name makes the people express disappointment in today's opinion about the Internet Archive's digital lending of books that are available electronically elsewhere. We are reviewing the court's opinion, and will continue to defend the rights of libraries to own, lend, and preserve books. It's just because it's digital, at the end of the day. Dave Hansing, Executive Director of the Authors Alliance, a non-profit that often advocates for expanded digital access to books, also came out against the ruling. Thank you! That is actually unexpected. Authors are researchers. Authors are readers, he says. Internet Archive's digital library helps those authors create new works and supports their interests in seeing their works be read. This ruling may benefit the bottom line of the largest publishers and most prominent authors, but for most it will end up harming more than it will help. Yes, please give access to not necessarily content, but information, important information. The Internet Archive's legal woes are not over. In 2023, a group of music labels, including Universal Music Group and Sony again, you don't hate Sony enough, sued the archive in a copyright infringement case over a music digitization project. That case is still making its way through the courts. Sony, why are you like this? The damage could be up to 400 million USD, an amount that could pose an existential threat to the non-profit. Yes, this could pose an existential threat to most in general. Oh man, so bad. It's so bad. And also this, this is BS, right? Because even if there were to say something about piracy, which is the usual excuse, I'm gonna be real. It has been demonstrated time and time again that piracy is not what drives sales down. It's always about... Even in music! Okay, even in music. The new verdict arrives at an especially tumultuous time for copyright law. In the past 2 years, there have been dozens of copyright infringement cases filed against major AI companies. Yes. That offer generative AI tools, and many of the defendants in these cases argue that the fair use doctrine shields their usage of copyright data in AI training. Any major lawsuit in which judges refute fair use claims are thus closely watched. Yes, there are always useful precedents, I suppose. It also arrives at a moment when the Internet Archive's outsized importance in digital preservation is keenly felt. The Archive's Wayback Machine, which catalogs copies of websites, has become a vital tool for journalists, researchers, lawyers, anyone with an interest in Internet history. While there are other digital preservation projects, including national efforts from the US Library of Congress. That sounds really good, but I don't think this is going nowhere. There's nothing like it available to the public. Yeah. Also, funny thing about the Wayback Machine. I'm pretty sure that's the only way, at least that's the only way I know, that you can read the Digimon Frontier manga. Funny how that works. Funny how that works. It was originally in Chinese, and yep. Yep. We could also mention the attack to all sort of anime, manga, and also hentai websites this past week. So this is looking kind of grim. We may see a huge change for the worst on the internet. And I suspect that they didn't mention it here, but you had people, right, with the obvious accusations, oh, this is literally 1984. And you had the guys at Internet Archive saying, yes, which is funny, because you cannot read 1984 anymore, because they took it down too. Funny how that works. It's so fun to believe that we're closer to 1984 than 2030, huh? Oh man. Oh man. But speaking of censorship, it's not getting any better. What can you say? It's so bad out here. Funny too, because this is an archive link. Shinji Mikami slams video game censorship in Japan. The rules are made by people who don't play games. That's from earlier this week too. Resident Evil creator Shinji Mikami recently spoke out about game censorship in Japan. Namely, his dissatisfaction with Japan's strict video game rating system, and how it can even cause games to be completely banned in the region, such as Dead Space. I didn't know that, that's messed up. The topic came up in a recent interview with Shinji Mikami and Koichi Suda51 Suda on GameSpark about the upcoming remaster of their game Shadows of the Damned. Shadow of the Damned Hella Remastered. I don't like that. It will be released on multiple platforms in October 2024, that's just next month. The conversation turned to how differences between Japan's rating system and overseas meant that they had to censor parts of the game for the Japanese console releases. For both the 2011 original and the upcoming remaster, basically releasing two different versions. Censorship on one side, censorship on the other side. So as to be launched on consoles in Japan, games must obtain a rating from Japan's CERO, Computer Entertainment Rating Organization Board. Although downloadable titles have the option of getting a classification from the IARC instead, all games with the 18+ content in Japan must pass CERO's regulations. On the other hand, PC releases on Steam in Japan usually end up being uncut, as they had to pass through CERO, and I do remember when a bunch of people were playing, was it Resident Evil 7 or 8, I don't remember, and you would see the differences between the Japanese version and the quote-unquote global version, because yeah, the main character was not losing his hand when he should. And I'm going to say it's because of this. I think it's an odd system, because games end up being restricted with rules made by people who don't play games, blocking the enjoyment of those who want to play them. Mikami explains. Fair. Suda51 agreed, commenting, "We have no choice but to deal with imposed regional restrictions as part of our job, but I always wonder what the players will think. For example, it's a bit sad if people go, oh, buy the PC version on Steam, because I want to play uncensored. That's going to happen all the time. You know why? Mods exist. Even though our game, Shadows of the Damned Hell Remastered, is available on a variety of platforms, where there's restrictions for, I feel like they are not for the customers who play the games, and also at the same time, yes, it's available on a variety of platforms, but at the same time, who the hell owns a PS5? No one. That thing doesn't exist. It doesn't have games. Doesn't make any sense to investing in a game system nowadays. What can you say? On the topic of games that fell full of serious rules, Mikami mentions the original Dead Space 2008. It could not be released in Japan to serious restrictions, and those who wanted to play it had no choice but to track down an overseas copy. Funny how that works. I do know people. They had to track down Japanese games back in the day. At the time, Mikami got to talk to the game's developers at EA Redwood Shores. This left such an impression on me that I remember it even now. One of the people there was in tears, saying, "We can sell the game in Japan, even though we worked so hard on it." Yeah, that's because censorship is ass. And I don't care who does it, censorship is ass. And it will always be. Japan's zero-age rating has been criticized in the past for its vague review process, and the lack of consistency in the games it denies rating to. I believe that. Are they commies? I would believe that. The Dead Space remake in 2023 was also refused classifications for depictions of cross-sections of several body parts and internal organs. Just what I mentioned about the Resident Evil. However, Stellar Blade was released uncensored with the 0D, that is, 17+ rating, for similar levels of gore in 2024. Are the enemies similar though? I think that's an important argument here. I don't know too much about either game, not gonna lie. Historically, Zero has been particularly tough on gory depictions of several body parts. However, they have also called for censorship or removal of sexual content for games to qualify for Zero Z 18+ rating. Examples include the removal of sex scenes in the Japanese release of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Gay, that's just annoying, come on now. And Baldur's Gate 3, in which genitalia was also censored in a rather amusing way. Can we open this? That's funny. That's funny, I shall allow it. That's funny. They just have a tiny leaf. They just have a tiny leaf. That's funny. Studio 51 conclude that game censorship in Japan is a difficult issue. It would be good if they could make a 0X certificate that's higher than 0 seed, so that overseas games could be released in Japan unaltered. If it's already 18+, why does it have censorship? You're already an adult, right? Doesn't make any sense to me. He also mentions the burden on developers. For the remaster of Shadows of the Damned, we had to make 2 versions, which had a huge impact in terms of workload and prolonged the development period. Yes, also that. Shadows of the Damned Hell Remastered is scheduled to be released for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and PC Steam on October 31st, 2024. In Japan, the console version will be censored, whereas the Steam version will be uncut. No comments here. Strong archives of that. That would make sense. But that doesn't make any sense to me, right? It is 18+. Why does it have censorship? Doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. So bad, man. Just rampant censorship keeps happening. And speaking of censorship, because obviously speaking of censorship, we have to go back here. Running into comics. As Square Enix censors Akira Toriyama's original female warrior design for Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. It looks horrible. It looks horrible here. And some people keep saying, no, but that's just because of the age rating, because of Zero. And you have to wonder, but why? Honestly, but why? What happened? This was fine back in the day. you can see some Dragon Quest remix unaltered in the late 2000s. It was fine back then. What happened in the last 15 years? Well, we're a bunch of retards now, I suppose. In a moment that feels especially egregious, given the esteemed artist's recent passing, a new preview for Dragon Quest III HD 2D has revealed that Square Enix will be censoring franchise artist Akira Toriyama's original design for the game's female warrior. I understand the argument, but I think there's scope. This happened before, when he was still alive. It is still messed up, but I do believe this is the wrong argument here. Such a classic. Such a classic. On September 3rd, by way of a lengthy post made to the game's official Japanese language Twitter account, Square Enix's latest look, not post, what the hell's wrong with me, at the upcoming remake sought to provide details regarding the ins and outs of the game's party system, which rather than teaming players up with named protagonists, all Final Fantasy or the other mainline Dragon Quest titles, requires players to recruit generic, class-based allies from the local pub. To this end, said preview offered players a brief profile of each of the game's available classes: hero, otherwise known as the protagonist. We're gonna change that, that's fine. Gadabout / jester, mage, martial artist, merchant, priest, sage, thief, warrior, and the new remake exclusive, master wrangler. They keep using the same term as in the Dark Prince, doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not quite sure about this one. In this case would be Momono Sky, so it's literally monster user. In the Dark Prince, I'm pretty sure it was Monster Master in Japanese, literally in katakana, right? Yeah, there's no way they're gonna be using something with the word master in the name when they are de&i infested. Come on now. They're providing both a brief summary of their respective abilities as well as full body illustrations of their respective male and female variants. I think you mean body type A and body type 2. Thank you very much. You can see you have some customization now. The OG was just the old guy. Now you have long hair, now you have different head, and you have a hood. That's fine, that's cool. Unfortunately, while most every class representative in the remake appears just as they did in the original 1988 release, and every subsequent re-release of Dragon Quest III, this consistency does not extend to the female warrior. Originally, the purple-haired heroine originally charged into battle. You cannot say originally twice, come on man, proofreading, I beg of you. Charged into battle wearing little more than gloves, boots, a wind helmet, and armor brassiere, and still play the loincloth. Yes. Very suggestive, perhaps. However, since a worrying amount of players currently have more hang-ups about anything remotely sexual than the original Puritans, the most probably true. In social media, I've seen a lot of stuff on the Troll Machine. The remake says the warrior cover up her shame. There's nothing shameful about the female body, about the Type 2 body. With a tan-colored undershirt and matching pair of shorts. It looks stupid. It just looks stupid. You cannot have shorts below a loincloth, that doesn't make any sense. What are you doing? Are you stupid? Probably. Ah, man. As noted above, this instance of censorship, though admittedly not altogether unexpected, comes across as particularly insulting, given the fact that Toriyama passed away earlier this year. It happened before, it's just a cope. It is still bad, don't get me wrong, but this is not the argument that you should be making. We are deeply saddened to inform you that manga creator Akira Toriyama passed away on March 1st due to acute subdural hematoma. Reads a news update published to the official website of the artist's iconic Dragon Ball manga. We've seen this before, yes. He passed away. We wrote that back in the day. We are all sad that this happened. The message from Bird Studio and Capsule Corporation Tokyo announcing the passing of Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama. Easy. Sadly, this is not the first official instance in which the female warrior has had her design censored in recent years. Yes, happened before. In the Sun Shut Down mobile RPG Turn Quest Stars, the warrior likewise dons both a black undershirt and a pair of tights underneath her original armor. We can see here. Yes, here's a little bit more detailed. Similarly, the warrior will also wear the same outfit for her brief appearance in the also since shut down mobile TCG Turn Quest Rivals. They keep dying, what's happening here? And I'm gonna tell you now my schizo theory here. Okay, this at least is actually a redesign. Okay? Because if we go back here, it's the same design, just with the undergarments. But here you can see different shoulders, different bra actually, different loincloth. I guess the gloves are still the same, or close to the same. I mean, it looks mostly the same, but it's a little bit different. This is actually a redesign. Holy shit, I died. What happened? There we go. What happened? That was weird. So, it's actually not that bad, but I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna go with my schizo theory here. They made it just so ugly, so people would accept more easily this design, which is still censored. And I do believe that can work. At the end of the day, yeah, it's probably just Zero or whatever, or just Square Enix being gay. That's just my schizo theory for this. I think that makes sense. And in the Dragon Quest Treasures, her statue features a slightly modified version of the censored outfit, with her full tights instead, replaced with spandex shorts. It looks really ugly, in general. It's not just because of the censorship. It looks really low quality, even the armor. If that makes sense. Further, this bit of censorship is not the first such modern audience change made to Dragon Quest III. During the remix process, as previously reported and subsequently reaffirmed in the Twitter post at the heart of this article, rather than allowing players to choose between male and female genders, I think you mean sex, when creating their hero or selecting their party members, they will instead be asked to select between Type A and Type 2 body types. I've seen that before. At current, Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake is currently scheduled to start slaying slimes on November 14th, so it's not going to change. Take a look here. Mission Reinatis. The Kingdom Hearts like. I know what that is. Let's take a look. I checked out Reinatis, the Kingdom Hearts like, and it's what I want. Won't be supporting screening since it seems like they just want to be woke, and 2, don't want to make anything for Kingdom Hearts fans. It's really weird you need a big hit and still want to show more Kingdom Hearts 4. And there's the mobile games, which is funny because the mobile games are also canon. Everything in Kingdom Hearts is canon for the main story. That's really rough. It was a remake of those at least, but Reinatis is on PC, PS4, and Switch. I'm gonna cop that. That's interesting. If you like Kingdom Hearts, you should check that out, I suppose. I'm out for modesty. I like being able to play games with my family without worrying about fanservice. Dragon Quest III is a favorite of mine. To the idea, I won't necessarily expose my son to that artwork is great. However, the move to raise biological sex, nah, that's a hard pass. No, that's a go. Censorship is always bad. And it's funny, because you see people complaining about this change on Twitter, and you have the usual clowns, derogatory. They're like, oh, these turrets, they don't care about Dragon Quest. They just want to goon. They're just coomers. And like, dude, I'm just saying Japanese Twitter, because I have. They're really riling themselves up with this. Japanese Twitter is really against this change in design. And I'm gonna tell you something, okay? Dragon Quest in the West, it has fans, I suppose. Dragon Quest in Japan, fucking gigantic. It's huge. And I'm gonna say that at times has been bigger than Final Fantasy. Dragon Quest 3 is one of the 3 most beloved entries for the game. It has finally a remake. The last version, I'm not counting mobile, was from the Game Boy Color back in the year 2000, I think. It's been almost 25 years. People have been waiting for a remake for literal decades. Do not fuck with Japan. Do not fuck with Japan, because that's gonna be bad. That's gonna be bad. I don't think this game will flop, but it might not perform as well as they hope. And once again, nowadays, apparently Square Enix gets most of its money from Dragon Quest. Do not fuck with Dragon Quest fans. You're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. It's gonna be bad for you. It's gonna be bad for you. Oh man, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough for them. And I'm saying, I was actually reading about it just before stream. I guess I can bring that up. I could bring that up. That's okay. I'm going to just read it. Just a couple of tweets. It's not that big of a deal. Japan is really railing on the Dragon Quest 3 remake, calling the censorship politically correct. For the past several days, porikori, that's the Japanese for political correctness, has been trending, thanks to Concord, which had some involvement. Immediately after Concord, Dragon Quest 3 censorship popped up, causing people to wonder if this was due to political correctness. Ah well, the redesign looks like shit. It does look bad. Japan usually doesn't do this. However, since the censorship affected Dragon Quest 3, which is part of the series in Japan you don't want to mess with, there's going to be noise made over there. And that could be a rude awakening for Square Enix. I don't think they're going to change their practices though. It's California after all, but yeah, it's not looking good. And you have a lot of people defending censorship. Ah, it's not a big deal. It's the usual, right? Ah, it's not a big deal. Okay, if it's not a big deal, why was it changed? I don't understand. Right? I don't understand. It's not a big deal. Why was it changed? It's clearly a big deal because it was changed. If you want to be like, no, it's just a 0 rating, people would accept this a little bit more. Just a little bit. Also, it's a little bit slimy too. That in this version, the top and the shorts are really similar color to the skin. So you couldn't see that until this reveal. Not clearly, at least. And so yeah, Square Enix, please stop. They're going to lose a lot of grace from the fanbase, and that's bad. That's bad for them. I'm just here hoping they crash and burn a little bit. They deserve it. They deserve it. And speaking of companies that work with them sweet babies, how about we jump directly to them sweet babies? Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair continues to play victim and attempts to deny her company's goal is to wokeify games. Okay, but what do you do then? What do you do? What's your business? Tell me. Just tell me. Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair continued to trot out the victim card, while also attempting to deny that her company's end goal is to wokeify and take over the video game industry. Well, Maybe it was not the work of high, but taking over the video game industry, I do believe that one. I do believe that one. In an interview with Black Girl Gamers on YouTube, another one of their ilk, Burrow said, I think of us almost as patient zero of this wave of Gamergate. It's Gamergate! Oh man, it's been 10 years, it's still Gamergate! It keeps happening. When I think of it, where it started, it was kind of the week that we had announced that we were on both Alan Wake 2. It's still not making a profit, even if it was funded by the Epic Games. And Spider-Man 2, which are two, I think, popular games among the game community and players in general. Spider-Man 2? Sure. Alan Wake 2 though? You can say that it was in Game of the Year. Hasn't made a profit yet. So, not looking good. Not the best example. She continued. Immediately, I think the targeting began with this kind of like, we found this secret sinister website from Sweet Baby Inc. Meanwhile, we're on Twitter like, I'm just so excited to let people know that we work on these two really great games. You are just lying to me. You are just lying to me. If you are so excited to let people know that you worked on these two really great games, why the fuck did you tag Cabritus Rambo and his Sweet Baby Inc. list, which was all public stuff, from your website? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. I wonder why. Do you have something to hide? Oh, you probably want to parade what you worked in to people that agree with you, because you know that, let's say, the gamers at large, not big fans of this, huh? And the assumption was essentially made that our work on that had not been story or narrative or character related. It had been to make a black character exist in Alan Wake 2. She's supposed to be Scandinavian. She was white and blonde before, so... And they put pride flags in Spider-Man 2. And that was kind of like the assumption that we had wokified the video games, Blur added. Look, if you deal with de&i, that's literally Marxism. That's what they mean with woke. Yes, it's bad. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, man. You have done something better, not better, different as a job, I suppose. She continued. As a company, we worked on over 80 games together, so there was plenty of fodder for people to start going. Oh, is this the reason that all these games are now woke? Maybe not the reason, but a reason. They have people of color in them, or queer people, or marginalized identities at all. Or even sometimes they perceive like, oh, this woman's design is not quite as it used to be, anything it used to be hotter. So there's a lot of stuff that's being put on us. Well, things that we did work on, things that we didn't. I'm gonna tell you something. Yes, people get de&i wrong on both sides. People will tell you, oh, black character, this is de&i, come on now. It's not, dude. We had Barret back in the 90s in Final Fantasy VII. It was cool. I don't think people are complaining about the diversity, like the literal meaning of the word, in games like Tekken. That has always been the case, right? But there's a big difference when they're identity obsessed, which is the case here. Because they tell you, you need to add a black character. But why? This is in France, not the modern France. I remember that example. I don't remember from where. I think it was related to Sweet Baby in some capacity, but I don't know. You need to add a black character, but why? It doesn't make any sense. Sure, you want to add black characters because you want to, because I don't know. Once again, Barret is cool. Sure, who cares? It's a good character. But Barrett is not a token, it's not a black token. You can say he is probably um, based on Mr. T, perhaps. I can't believe that. But he is a character of his own. People don't understand that. It's so strange to me. It's so strange to me. But yes, at the end of the day, we have to be clear that all black people, that doesn't mean, you know, it's the AI. The important part is it's in there because of the identity. It could be there in an organic way. It's hard to tell sometimes, but some of the times it's really clear, okay? And then we kind of just became shorthand for the bookification of gaming, she said. To be fair, it's not only Sweet Baby, but it's the most recognizable head of the proverbial Hydra, I suppose. However, Berlin made it abundantly clear that her entire goal and her company's goal was to wokeify gaming. Again, 2019, during the Game Developers Conference, she said, "None of what we are doing is about ticking boxes or about a veneer of wokeness. We actually have to care about making this stuff. You have to care about making that stuff because you have to literally make the game, but that doesn't mean it's not identity driven." She said nothing, pretty much. In fact, during the presentation, Blur made it clear that she would weaponize cancel culture to achieve her goals. Ah, she was playing Dustborn already, I understand. That explains a lot. She said, "Is your creative working in AAA, which I did for many years? Put your stuff up to your higher-ups, and if they don't see the value and what you're asking for, when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, you'll have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want." Literal blackmail. Literally blackmail. Because they had to consider. I say that out loud as a joke, but it's actually very, very true. If it's true, it cannot be a joke. It can be said in a joking way, but it's still true. Because you start to consider the people who are player and audience facing, and you have to deal with mitigating harm, and with keeping the sentiment around their game, and their pride positive. There's like a genuine value that you can impress upon them both ethically and financially. They only care about this one. And to be fair, this is not the case. People are becoming quite allergic to these bullshit games. You can say this is important, she said. Blur elaborated. It's also a valid discussion to have, because if you're working within a thin narrative budget and you work with AAA, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised or dismayed by the amount of money that marketing can give you. Yes, marketing is trying to make the game profitable. They're investing in the game being profitable. You're just misusing the money. How the fuck am I agreeing with marketing here of all places? So stupid. This would not be the only time she would express such aims. In an interview with Inclusion FX, holy shit, what a disgusting name, she said she wanted to take over the video game industry. Take over the video game industry. She said herself, what the fuck? She said, "Today, what with this writing, narrative design, story building, story breaking as our first and foremost." That's too much already. But on a secondary level, we work very hard to get marginalized talent into the industry. To protect them the way that we would want to have been protected, to lift them up, and to get them into an industry where they are too often shut out. Get marginalized talent into the industry. Literally, hiding quotas. That's one of the core practices of de&i, after all, so it's not surprising. But they will tell you it's not happening, or they will tell you it's happening and it's good, because these people are actually highly skilled. And you have to wonder, if they were highly skilled, you wouldn't need quotas for them. And that's actually one of the main problems with video games nowadays. They will tell you, but it's not because the AI, it's not because of the characters, but DI is not just black character, woman character, or whatever. You may have those, okay? But if you keep having hiring quotas for your company, you keep hiring incompetent people. Incompetent people are going to make bad product. Bad product doesn't sell. It's just that easy, but people forget too much, I suppose. Milording admitted. And basically, I think to take over in the hopes that some really dope people will be able to lead into a kind of new era for an industry that has been kind of being, you know, the same way too long. What do you mean, good? It's funny how that works. Funny how that works. In fact, Sweet Baby's website makes it very clear what the company's goals are. It says, our mission is to tell better, more empathetic stories while diversifying and enriching the video game industry. We aim to make games more engaging, more fun, more meaningful, and more inclusive for everyone. And you know what I say to this? Polish drivel. How about making good games, huh? No can do. Despite all of this, Valera intended to gaslight viewers of the Black Girl Gamers YouTube channel by offering her own definition of what it means to wokeify gaming. She said, it's the weirder moment, right? There's a lot of very far right thinking, a lot of, you know, very aggressive material that's kind of just being pushed out across a lot of different, or at least a lot... Woman, please! I'm trying here to read and it's so hard because you don't know how to speak properly. At least a lot of the audience of a lot of different industries are currently kind of talking about that. And obviously, the political landscape is kind of led to a lot of this. She said nothing. She just said nothing with that! The hell? Keeps happening, I guess. I think for a lot of people it really comes down to they say change that they themselves did not expect. It's not expect, it's a bad change. It's usually censorship, it's usually ugly, it's usually simple. Know what people like. For positive. They say change that they can fathom, that their beloved companies or their beloved teams, whatever, make themselves, so they kind of assume that anyone who comes in who looks like myself or other members of my team are the interlopers. Our job can only be tied to our identity. Well, congratulations, you played yourself. You did that yourself. So of course other people are going to do that because you're leading by example. What's wrong with you? I don't understand. I just don't understand. It's so insane to me. And yes, sometimes the big corpors are at fault here. Like this, okay? But that's just because people oppose DEI. As they should. Milord intended to address what she sees as misinformation about her company, despite her repeated statements about what her company does. Speaking of misinformation, I think the biggest thing for us during this campaign is that I would say that any kind of sensitivity work or consulting work in cultural consultation probably represents about 15% of our work, where the vast majority of it is actually writing, narrative design, joining writing teams, helping support writing teams, sometimes being the entire writing team for a project, or helping with mission design. But the part that really gets everyone assuming that we can possibly do that other work because all we are is, you know, DEI. By your own admission, yes you are. And thanks for the admission that yes, you actually work on actually writing stuff. People have been saying that you do, and you were saying, no we don't, yes you do. By your own admission. You don't hate these people enough, I'm afraid. We became labeled as this DEI company when the facts of the way that we work is that someone calls in and says, hey, we've made a bunch of choices. We'd love for you to either help write, help look at them, help talk to us. Even sometimes our cultural consultation is a specific, you know, it's job consultation. She said, That's why we had to hire a meteorologist at one point to do a consulting project. Anything that idea of authenticity for people, if you like. Oh, we hired a lawyer because we have to. You know, writable lawyers. No one will ever bat an eye. But I can imagine that you'd want to bring in someone from a specific background or country or experience to talk about this. Can I tell you a secret? Not all black people are black Americans. So yeah, do we have to bring up the Yaska stuff again? I don't want to. I think there's this idea that, you know, if a game company is reaching out to external, that's because they're missing something, or they can't handle something, and not because, you know, in the very real world of creation across many different media, people talk to each other. People have writers' rooms, directors and writers of huge movies, to each... Stop repeating two twice, I hate you. Each other's houses, and talking to, you know, punch-ups to others' scripts. That's kind of, you know, how creativity works. But this is what it's become, she concluded. Stop saying you know. Stop saying you know! As noted above, City Inc. labels itself as a de&i company. Furthermore, as Bishop Barron informed Angelus News, woke ideologues like Blair advocated only antagonistic social theory, whereby the world is divided sharply into the two classes of oppressors and oppressed. Second, they relativize moral value and see classical morality as an attempt by the ruling class to maintain itself in power. Excuse me. Third, they focus not so much on the individual as on radical and ethnic categories, and hence they endorse the idea of collective guilt. Original saying, anyone? I recommend a sort of reverse discrimination to address the injustice of the past. Fourth, they tend to demonize the market economy and the institutions of democracy as part of a superstructure defending the privileged. Fifth, they push toward equity of outcome throughout the society, rather than equality of opportunity. Is this YouTube in 2014? It's just the same talking points. And they will tell you, no, but this is not communism! It's not communism! It's literal socialism, what do you mean? He added, and finally, wokeism employs divisive and aggressive strategies of accusation that are contrary to the gospel demand to love our enemies. Suffice it to say that Catholic social teaching stands athwart all of this. It wants social justice, of course, but not on woke terms. Its heroes are not Marx, Nietzsche, or Foucault. Fucking Foucault, that's another piece of work. Or rather, Isaiah, Amos, Jeremiah, Jesus the Lord, Ambrose, Aquinas, and Teresa of Calcutta. What do you make of Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kimber's comments? Let's see. Let's see the comments, let's see the experts. She's right about one thing. It's the fault of these dumbass CEOs and game studios who keep giving people like her work. I don't feel sorry for any of these people who lose hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't either. Let them crash and burn. You know what her ideals are, and you still brought her on board. You deserve it. I'm black, well, this guy is. I don't need her or anyone else to tell me who the fuck my heroes are supposed to be and look like. My heroes are Goku and Vegeta. Every single fucking time. Every single time! Dragon Ball law, it keeps working. The greatest thing is, no one would care if they made good games, but the games are shit, and the people in them look like mutants. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. It's not about, oh, the character is black. No, they keep hiring incompetent people. And what's gonna happen when you hire incompetent people? They don't know how to work properly. It's gonna be a bad product. Lo and behold, bad products all around. Let's see. No one would care if they just made games like Dustborn and fucked off. It's the fact that they go into places they have no right being in. Not because of what they are, but because of who they are. They clearly have no experience with marketing or knowing what a target demographic is, and just think anything can have their bullshit thing, and they're wrong. Yes, they can claim it's racism or whatever, but it's really down to their ideals and how they operate. You can have your work shit that no one plays and everyone will leave you alone. But when you force your way into every single genre of entertainment, people are going to tell you to fuck off. Yes. I need to blow my nose. Give me a second. Oh man, I knew that. And you know what happens with this? Is the abundant use of the term community, for example. They keep using community when they mean demographic. That has been a malady for the gays. You're gay, you have to support the LGBTQ, right? Well, not necessarily. It's just liking dick, it's not a cohesive ideology. Come on now. But the thing is, and you see that constantly with their petty attempts at rewriting entertainment, right? They say stuff that they like. They're like, I like it, therefore it's good. And they're also like, I like it, therefore it reaffirms my ideology. And they make this weird connection of, it reaffirms my ideology, therefore it's good. And then they go to make content, entertainment or whatever. Using that, it has to agree with my ideology, and then it will be good. And they keep pushing out trash. Let's say, for example, Rings of Power. That's a good example. Because they didn't understand what makes something good. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Speaking of, people in games that hate you. Keeps happening. After a long wait to fail to turn a profit, Game Zero community manager calls for bigots to be removed from gaming communities. Community manager calls for bigots to be removed from gaming communities. Do you understand now why community managers are the scourge of the universe? They're trying to manipulate, in this case, gaming communities. It's in the name, community manager. They manage the community, but they're paid by the companies. Why would you trust them? They don't have the community in their best interest. They have the company in their best interest. Also, good luck with policing communities. Once again, gaming communities, do you mean demographics, you stupid clown? So ridiculous. Senior community manager for Remedy Entertainment, Vita Starsovic, called for bigots to be removed from gaming communities in the wake of Firewalker Studios' Concord being boycotted and shut down due to the low sales. It was not boycotted, people didn't like it. It's more than enough. Mega Partners Director of Research, Daniel Ahmad, initially reacted to the game being shut down. The comments around Concord from right-wing gamers shows the power of collective self-deception. You say delusional stuff about de&i enough times and build a conspiracy-focused narrative, you start seeing that false narrative everywhere. And I guess we have to live with this now. Whose fault is it? Whose fault is it? Tell me, Daniel, if that's your real name? You keep injecting bullshit in games? Yeah. People are not going to like it. He adding a follow-up. Well, of course, the underlying emotional response is just standard bigotry, and nothing new. Except now there are grifters putting on a 4-act stage play about how capital owners have gone woke, and therefore no longer care about the profit motive for some reason. Demonstrably true. They are not making profits, they are not making money, and they keep wasting huge loads of money on ideological trash. What do you mean? Podcaster Khalif Adam illustrated to Ahmad's commentary and wrote, "From your gardens, push out bad actors, prepare your teams for the current conversation zeitgeist. Give your community and social teams autonomy and resources to battle against toxicity. Relay how all of these can impact the bottom line early to investors. Battle against toxicity. You cannot do that. It's impossible. Because people will always have freedom of speech and freedom of expression. You know why? Because they can do it. And because they can do it, they will. Just that easy. Starsabic, working on Alan Wake 2, responded to Adam's writing. What Kat said, but also, I've left the good eggs, protect and support those who need it. Twitter has never been this full of accounts where polling hate 24/7, I disagree with it. But still, where a lot of the good parts of the game communities happen. Games community. Do you mean demographic? Print your gardens and let flowers grow. The thing is, the people you're trying to prune should be your customers, but by your own admission they're not. So you're actually pruning your potential customer base. Good job. You are making so you will never make a profit. So strange. In a subsequent post, she added, "Getting bigger out of your communities is a band-aid, and not a permanent solution. Modeling desired behaviors and championing the kinds of community members you want to be the majority in your community takes effort and time. Start early, practice often. Smaller steps are steps too." Getting bigots out of your communities. Interesting. But modeling desired behaviors. Taking a page from Laura Fink's book, I say. We have to force behavior. And do you still believe they have? Do you still believe that the gamers or the consumers are in some way what they're... I don't know what I'm saying anymore, dude. They think they have the gamers and the consumers on their best interests? No. They are just running defense for big corporations. They must rule through like this. They're modeling the consumers to be the perfect commissars. Jesus Christ. Ironically, Starsabic appeared to be successful, and this, given Rampant Entertainment has failed to turn a profit on Alan Wake 2. Meaning many gamers chose not to purchase the sweet-baby ink-infected game. Unlucky. In the company's half-year financial report covering January to June 2024, Remedy revealed, at the time of publishing this report, Alan Wake has recouped most of its development and marketing expenses. That means most, but not all. That means it has still taken a loss in the game. Not only did the company reveal the game has yet to recover its costs nearly a year after release, but the company's CEO, Terry Tolle, shared that Alan Wake 2 did not yet generate royalties. They are losing money with this fucking game. Can't you believe it? I can. Actually, I can. But they're parading as, the bigots, it's the bigots. And do you still not see how this equates to Marxism? Come on dude, it's so obvious. It's just so obvious, dude. To add to this, Remedy stopped sharing sales figures for the game, I wonder why. The company previously revealed that it had sold 1 million copies by the end of December 2023, and it's not bad. Selling 1 million copies for a game like this, I don't think it's bad, but that means that you're spending, once again, too much money. You're spending too much money. It's just basic economics, come on. In their business review for January to March 2024, it shared, in February 2024, Remedy announced that Alan Wake 2 had sold 1.3 million units as of the beginning of February. Alan Wake 2 sales have continued with a high average price. At the end of the first quarter, the game had recouped a significant part of the development and marketing expenses. No royalties, unlucky. Not only has a long way to fail to turn a profit, but YouTuber Madam Savvy exposed Starsubic's own hypocrisy. By sharing a number of posts she made revealing she would not have worked for Remedy if Control had a male protagonist. Funny how that works. She also made it very clear she engages in discriminatory behavior based on sex and race, anything an advocate to make all characters gay. It didn't load properly, I'm afraid. Let's see if we can open this up. Yeah, we have some screenshots here. And take a look at those. Can they be bigger? Pretty cool. But no, they're totally small. It's okay. It's okay, I suppose. Let's take a look at the screenshots here. So, if it was a male protagonist, you wouldn't want to work there? Yes, a very important part of me taking the job was that it was a game in which you played as a woman. Weird. Mina Starsovic, Senior Community Manager for Remedy Games, working on Alan Wake 2, working on Control Remedy, part of One-Shot Paths, Dream Perfect. She, her. Obviously. Let's see. Something that continues to surprise me about influencer management is while I repeatedly and vocally insist to agencies that they should pitch as diverse creators for paid initiatives, the initial deck proposal I get almost every single time is wall-to-wall white man. Do better. Call me bullshit. I'm saying this with respect for all my fellow devs, and hope they come to this space with only good intentions in their hearts. But to me, the what a game dev looks like hashtag might not need quite as many white men participating. We know that's what the game devs look like. Racist? She's white, dude, what the fuck? Now to hear you all, the gay Alan Wake 2 fans in my phone, I like the acceptance speeches from Matt and Ilke for the Era of Game Awards. It's a shame we couldn't have got them together in person, but I'm grateful. They were very keen and able to do this after all. I suppose. It's absurd, Alan Wake is for the gays. That's why you're not gonna get a profit from the game, I guess. The first prize was a riot. Oh, there we go. Companies aren't your allies, capitalism isn't your friend, and no kind of consumption under it can be ethical. As what brands who boast rainbows in June are doing for their rainbow employees. The other 335 days. Jail? Obviously, it's illegal. Give gay people your fucking money, I don't think I will. All I do at work is befriend everyone on the raiding team so I can then tell them to make every character gay every time it's feasible to bring up, more often than you think. You think this isn't about you affectionately? Yes it is. It's called direct action. Quotas once again. Oh man. Okay, they do have the tweets here, so it's okay. One point, Starsovic wrote, I joined Remedy Games because I wanted to work on Control. Because during my on-site interview, I saw a game with a female protagonist that looked exactly the kind of game I wanted to champion and build a community around. Thank you to the Control community, always. Build a community around. How about making a good game? Just creating little commissars keeps happening and people don't understand. We've seen this one. No, we haven't seen this one. Maybe I'm naive. It's surprising to me how I still have to say, show me diverse creators, please, in every single brief. Racist? I expect that in today's media landscape, a diverse range of creators would be a given. It's frustrating that it's not. You're dealing with the West. The West is mostly white. Shocking. We've seen this one. We've seen this one. We've seen this one. Oh, that was fast! That was fast because I went out of my way. That's cool. Brain dead little woman. Women with toxic levels of white guilt and a deep hatred for men. It's a disgusting but potent combination. The whole Western video game industry needs through restructuring or demolition. Fair. I think there's a problem not so much of gender, but of the deep lack of professionalism of people in important positions. True. True, this is a huge point actually. Just imagine that your community manager is a person who scares away the audience for the sake of virtue signaling. That's the point of a community manager though. Manager. Let's see. These people don't even know the definitions of the words they use, because they lack the brain cells to think for themselves. Ooh, harsh. If anyone is a bigot, it's you leftovers who follow the definition of the word completely. Per Merriam-Webster, a person who is obstinately or intolerantly devoted to his or her own opinions and prejudices, especially one who regards or treats the members of a group, such as a racial or ethnic group, with hatred and intolerance. It's a classic universe tactic. Accuse others of violates you're committing yourself. Projecting. Projecting, baby! Huge. Oh, I love this one. I love this one. Modeling desired behaviors and championing the cause of community members you want to be the majority. Ah, the new speak is finally upon us. I'll translate. Brainwashing and favorizing. True. How you doing, George Desk, envtubers? I don't know what you mean. We're reading a little bit about companies that hated customers. Beautiful. Beautiful disaster. But yeah, this is pretty much started over an hour ago. The stream, yeah, almost 2 hours. I've been streaming for, I don't know, more than a year now. I don't know what to tell you, man. That may require a lot of motivation. Nah, not really. Not really. Ah, where was it? I lost it. It was down here. I missed it again. Ah, there I go. Yes. Yes. This is what I was talking about before. They want to force behaviors. It's just another thing again. It's wild to me. It's wild. But at least now they're saying that, so that's cool. Speaking of beautiful disasters, let's get to the last two things that we have for today. From Kotaku. Sorry, the Minecraft movie isn't meant to be for you. Does it have a target audience at all? I wonder. The new trailer revealed a movie that's going to be delight. It's going to delight its core demographic, and that ain't you. Are we sure about that? That's interesting. Yeah, what type of content do you do? I do games and I do tweeting about the sorry state of entertainment. That's usually for Saturdays. Right now I'm just, I think the only game I'm in the middle of would be Digimon Hacker's Memory, which has been pretty slow, but it's ramping up. We're finally having a lot of fun with it, so that's pretty cool. I've done some weird stuff at some point, talking about philosophy and whatnot. It's fun to do, but I can only do it really from time to time because I don't know too much about it and I need to find something that is interesting. The Minecraft movie trailer broke yesterday afternoon. The internet was immediately abuzz with cynicism and disappointment. The trailer looks really ugly. It's not because of the black woman. Okay, the ship looks ugly, and I don't see Jack Black as Steve. What can you say? As adults across the world simultaneously express one thought. Who is this film even for? What almost every single one of them forgot is that they're not 9-year-olds. Minecraft is not just for 9-year-olds, though. What? You gotta stick to one niche. What I tell you, I cannot stick to a single niche. I know I do know that's what YouTube wants from creators. I cannot do that. I cannot do that, man. I'm gonna get bored in just 2 weeks. My son, who is 9-year-old, turning 10 next month, loves Minecraft as much as pretty much any other kid his age. He has Minecraft t-shirts, which is endless hours of other people playing Minecraft on YouTube, and is currently mostly obsessed with the so-called parkour modes. When playing the game himself, he builds elaborate castles littered with what I'm incessantly informed are 3 block jumps. Interesting. Moving around with the deftness I couldn't help to achieve on my PC. And yet manages this on the touchscreen of his tablet. Tablet gaming? Now that is impressive. He, I'm pursued to tell you, is Minecraft's target audience. Ah yes, a single example of a single kid is just a representative of Minecraft's target audience. Have you seen the people who play the game, who stream the game? They are not kids. Are we going to completely forget Minecraft Renaissance partly thanks to PewDiePie? Come on now. This morning, while he was having his breakfast, I showed him the Minecraft movie trailer. I did this because I told scenario-old Zack and Ethan in the Kotaku Slack that I would, promising to show it unprompted, so I could report back his genuine reaction. I have the ink I couldn't have guessed due to article readings. That's just a Saturday kind of thing. It's... I need to read the stuff to get it out of my system, because it just starts going around my mind. And some of them are just current things, some of them are just strange happenings. Most of them are current thing though, because obviously it's what's happening now. There you go. Yes, I finished that one. When Infinity Minor Clone Minecraft appeared on Raiders in 2009, oh yeah, I read it backwards. What's wrong with me? Yeah. It was a game for adults. That's mostly because it was a sort of secret in alpha project passed around between friends. Launched with Java console, with weekly updates dropping new elements that would have to be discovered. The website I was co-running at the time was posting about it as early as June 2009. And I personally played it a lot that year, and indeed for much of 2010. It was this bare-bones game of survival, where there were no goals beyond the simple pleasure of exploration. That's pretty much Minecraft still, to be fair. Ah, it's the dragon! Who cares? And it hooked a huge group of indie games players. Heck, my 2010 birthday cake, made by my then girlfriend, now wife, and mother of my aforementioned 9-year-old, stop bragging, was Minecraft themed. Is this a soy moment? It could be a soy moment. So I get it. There's a generation that feels like Minecraft belongs to them. They were in there ahead of the crowds, loving the game before it even officially launched in 2011. I know the numbers, please. I make a lot of mistakes today, I don't know why. Let me guess, this is your hobby / part-time? It is my hobby, I don't get any money from this, I just think it's fun. Or was I? 2011. And certainly, before it became one of the biggest franchises in the world, I Minecraft bought it for 2.5 billion USD. And Notch? Oh baby, he's living his life now. Even if people hate him. But I mean, that closed sale was 10 years ago. For 10 years. Minecraft has been one of the top grossing media franchises, more likely to be seen on clothing in Walmart than on the newsfeed of your favorite gaming site. There's nothing to say about Minecraft nowadays, to be fair. You see the updates? Wow, an update a year! What did they add? A tree. What the hell? Minecraft has multiple physical magazines, both official and unofficial. And I hope you're not shocked to learn that they're aimed at elementary school kids. Sure. There's an interactive cartoon on Netflix and it's for children. The hell is an interactive cartoon? On Netflix of all places. I don't know. That's weird. There's the toy store, and there will be shelves and shelves and shelves of tiny plastic figures, swords, Steve heads, creeper plushies, enormous Enter Dragon toys, Lego kits, and on and on. Ask anyone with a child under 12 what their kid's favorite game is. Any second flip if they'll say Fortnite or Minecraft. I'm pretty sure it's mostly Fortnite nowadays. But I do see Minecraft being a close second, that makes sense to me. Minecraft, whether you like it or not, is now a game aimed at kids. And so it should be a surprise to no one at all that a movie based on the game would be too. And kids, especially under 12s, are not perhaps as sophisticated as you might wish. It doesn't look good, even for a kids movie. Look at this, it's ugly. It's ugly as fuck. Ah man. Getting stuffy again. I showed the trailer to Toby this morning. He was annoyed that I was interrupting his watching a video about snakes, but then immediately changed his mind when he saw the opening block-built beast. Whoa, he said. Then, as it cut between the faces of the 4 humans, he asked, "What is this?" I didn't answer, because then the pink sheep appeared, and he burst out laughing. Maybe these kids are not going to make it. Kind of sad. He then just said wide-eyed and the variety of Minecrafty things, like crafting, the piglins, the creeper, just a moment, sir. That's not really Minecraft in my opinion, that's just strange. And then, when Jack Black appeared, he exclaimed, "That's Jack Black! Why is he there?" I'm Steve," replies Jack Black. And Toby tips back his head and guffaws. It's funny, see, because Jack Black looks like Jack Black. Not a Steve, as he knows a Steve. But if he is a Steve, he should look like a Steve. Right? Am I going crazy here? Let's go Taguso maybe. But he's also dressed like a Steve, I suppose. And then there's the pretty, sassy teenage girl, the very good of titles. A Minecraft movie. A Minecraft movie, but not the Minecraft movie. Which I find interesting. And I swear, this is his reaction. Wait! That's not it! This is one movie! Out of this to come! He had thought it was a fun sketch, and had loved it, but was not realizing it was going to be so much more. Yeah, I said. Cereal over milk, or milk over cereal? Okay. This is an easy one. First cereal, then milk, and if you finish, and you're still hungry, and you have milk left, then you add cereal over the milk. That's how you do it. Usually, at least. To be fair, you have the usual cereal over milk, but only if the milk is hot, to not get the cereal too soggy. I think that's acceptable too. Where was I? I need to say it right now, he declared, a massive smile on his face. I pointed out it's in April. But I need to say it now! This is just pure consume, don't ask, and then get excited for next product. So bad. But I've been doing live running this entire time. I mean, if you like it the other way, because it's fine. Okay? If you're gonna ask me what I do, yes, I do that. Or I did. I don't really have breakfast anymore. I just go directly for lunch. But it's cool. I mean, it's got a little bit viral. Was a week ago, I think. That clip from a Whole Life girl was Raura, I think, of the new Ian girls, and she does something really strange with the cereal. It's warm milk. It's first and then a little bit of coffee. I think it's strange. It's strange to me. What inspired you to start streaming? Honestly, I don't know. I just think it's fun. You see people doing it. It looks fun. I was like, sure, why not? It's fun. Especially nowadays when you don't hang out as much with friends and whatnot. So what used to be gaming as social interaction at some point, and it becomes you're back alone again. So it's a way to get some people back and try to make this a little bit of a social interaction again, kinda. Do you get discounted when you get low views/viewers? No, most people do. I think it's funny when people go like, oh, but look at this guy, doesn't have any viewers, and you see the actual data on Twitch, and getting 11 concurrent viewers means that you're like top 10%. That's not a lot of people, but that's a really high percentage. You also get a lot of people that are like, but I do deserve viewers. I do deserve a lot of stuff. You deserve nothing. Most people are not going to make it, so it's better, in my opinion, to think I'm going to do this because it's fun instead of, oh, I'm gonna be the next, I don't know, ninja or XQC or whatever. Probably not. But I do appreciate when people come hang out. Absolutely. Let's keep reading a little bit more. Now this addresses the movie about criticism, of course. A Minecraft movie might turn out to be absolutely dreadful. I still don't understand the idea behind the movie. It's pure sandbox. It's so strange to me. And for the audience, which is clearly aimed, it could prove to be too long or too boring, or not funny for children. Hell, it could be perfect for its obviously desired demographic, and still merit scathing critical analysis by those who want to study it as a text, or you know, it could be really good fun. My guess, based on this trailer, that it's set up well for the latter. Maybe. To be honest, that's a real question that most streamers get asked. And that's a normal question, but I do believe that a lot of people have misplaced expectations. You see huge streamers that are just like, oh, they get a lot of viewers, I can do that. Can you? It's more than just playing a game, right? It's much more than just playing a game. You have to be entertaining, you have to be charismatic, and nowadays the market is really massive, it's really saturated, so most people not making it, it's obvious. That's why I tell people, the first rule of content creation is to have fun. At least, if you don't get big, you had fun, that's always good, right? But the internet's adult BBS meant that this cartoonish movie, set in a game primarily played by children, didn't look like Deadpool vs. Wolverine 2. That doesn't make... I don't think people are saying that. Kotaku should have known better. It's one that I think certainly deserves some scorn. You can be disappointed that its art style doesn't more accurately replicate that of the game. That's fair criticism. Or the story contains big, wacky characters. It's really Reddit-pilled. That's for sure. You can absolutely draw comparisons with the aforementioned Next cartoon that took everything far more seriously with Patton Oswalt and Catherine Tabor's alternative chases. I know what there is. I wish I had been more like that, but you're being disappointed for yourself, and you're speaking for all of mankind. Yes, people are speaking for themselves. What's this guy going on about, dude? If I could ask you, what is the one thing keeping you streaming still? I still think it's fun. Honestly, I still think it's fun. So as long as it's fun, I'm gonna do it. At the same time, you see a lot of people that get kind of desperate. Oh, I've been streaming for so much. I've been doing this for 2 years and I got nothing. That happens a lot, but if you really enjoy it, you have to keep grinding. And I don't really like that expression, but makes sense, right? If it's something that you like, it's something that you enjoy, you have to work for it, right? It's not gonna be coming down, grinding from the sky. It'd be cool if it happened, it's not gonna happen. You can also get lucky with the algorithm. Some people do. Because the answer to the question that rang out across the world yesterday, Who is this even for? It's easy. It's for kids. It's designed to make kids happy. And you aren't a kid, as much as you may wish that weren't true. I don't want to be a kid again, what do you mean by this? Minecraft, if you should still play it 17 hours a day, is for kids now. It's one of the biggest children's media franchises in existence, and based on my incredibly scientific study of one super smart, super imaginative 9-year-old's reaction to the trailer, it's doing exactly what it should be. This guy said nothing. This guy said nothing. What's your next live stream? And guys, I'm streaming Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. Monday and Thursday is just gaming. I might add some spice like gaming related stuff, even if it's not in games. And today, Saturday, is just usually reading stuff, usually news. So next stream gonna be on Monday at 2:30 PM EST, and we'll be playing some more Digimon Story Hackers Memory. I think I can add some Wednesdays now. I managed to free my schedule a little bit. It's not gonna be every Wednesday, but probably this Wednesday we're gonna have something. I'm not quite sure what, because I don't know if what I have planned is gonna work. So wait and see. I will have the Waiting Room app with a lot of time, so people can see it. Yeah, this guy's just coping, I guess. This guy's just coping here. It's sad to say, but it's Kotaku after all, so that makes sense. And no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that the Minecraft movie is gonna be just for kids. Back in the day, you had kids' movies that were fun for everyone. This just feels like, I hate to say that, but Corpus Lab. It'll be happening next time. Well, thank you for coming. In the future, I guess, Joel. I appreciate it a lot. And now, for the final article that I have for today. I'm pretty sure we knew this 4 years now, but it's funny that they're saying it again. Facebook partner admits smartphone microphones listen to people talk to serve better ads. I heard this years ago. At least it was 2021. It's news again, so that's cool. One of Facebook's advertising partners has reportedly admitted listening to spying on people's conversations through smartphones to serve curated ads. I thought this didn't happen. What's going on? So silly. Update. Meta has provided the following statement in response to the 404-minute report. Meta doesn't use your phone's microphone for ads, and we've been public about this for years. I just don't believe it. We are reaching out to SimG to get them to clarify that their program is not based on metadata. Funky expression, if you ask me. More information here. Now, I'm gonna just tinfoil now. Have you ever been talking about something with someone and then picked up your phone and saw whatever it was you were talking about as an advertisement? Yes. It's also funny when you see stuff on Twitter because, oh, new docking event. This happened last year. And suddenly, I get the same recommendation from the same scene on YouTube. Video? 14 years ago. Cookies. Cookies are dangerous, let me tell you. Sometimes the timing of tailored advertisements on social media platforms, particularly meta-operated platforms such as Facebook and Instagram, can be incredibly jarring. Especially if there's only a matter of seconds between the conversation ending about that product and then it suddenly appears in the middle of your feed. It's on purpose. It has to be on purpose. The consistency of this has begged the question for some time. Do social media companies use the microphone in your smartphone to listen to conversations that are then used to feed tailored advertisements? If you have a Google machine, yeah. If you have a Chinese phone like I do, yes. The CCP has all of my dank memes. Not gonna make it. And new reports from 404 Media that cites documents leaked. Its reporters reveals active listening software that, unsurprisingly, uses a form of artificial intelligence to capture real-time intent data by listening to our conversations. The leaked document cite a pitch deck from Cox Media Group, CMG, a TV and radio giant that is one of the Facebook's alleged marketing partners. Alleged, that's funny. That's funny. They say that pitch deck showcases how CMG uses its active listening software to capture voice data from a smartphone device that can be then paired with behavioral data on the individual to further hone the target advertisements. I don't like it. Big Brother's watching, dude. Notably, CMG stated that Amazon, Facebook, and Google are clients of this active listening software, and following the publishing of the report from 404 Media, Google has removed CMG from its partner program list. From the list, but are they still partners or not? Or do they have their own software now? That could be the case too. This removal then caused Meta to begin reviewing CMG's partnership with the platform to see if it has violated any of its terms of service. We know what you're thinking. Is this even legal? It is legal for phones and devices to listen to you. When you app download or update prompts consumers with a multi-page term of use agreement somewhere in the fine print, active listening is not included. It's now the Cox blog post from November 2023. Big Brother's watching. Whiskers, my guy. Yeah. We've known this for years, but it's nice to finally have confirmation. Remember Edward Snowden? He physically disconnects all internal mics, and cameras from his devices before he starts using them. Yeah. What a shame, this big and small company. What a shame. Things to report to the authorities and the law, and to the antitrust. Yep. So rough, dude. It's so rough. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this has been demonstrated years ago. Also, that stuff about Facebook knowing when you stop scrolling, and they take note of what you're looking at. They want you to be controlled. Obviously, they can sell your stuff, they can control your ideas, they can force behaviors. I thought that didn't happen. Anyway, it's getting late. It's getting late already. It's time for me to take my leave. I thought today would be shorter, but it was not. Keeps happening, I don't know why. Anyway, thank you for coming. I hope you had some fun. It was interesting today, not gonna lie. It was pretty interesting. Once again, we're gonna be coming back on Monday. Some more Hacker's Memory. We're getting kind of close to the end, I guess. Chapter 13 of 18, so things are gonna go down. It's gonna be great, guys. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be beautiful. But for now, I must take my leave. So, once again, thank you for coming. And until next time, you know the rules. Take care.